Well, that is excellent timing. I come back from BRB to find that OBS is actually disconnected a couple of minutes ago. At least it had the good sense to to wait until we were properly done playing through a round. And we're simply between efforts. It puts a clean cut to the VOD. Could be worse. At least it's not like yesterday, it was like right between something. Tablet is a bit weaker, so it takes a while to load here. No drop frames, bitrate good. Just somebody having a fart? Well then, since technically this counts as a stream restarting and not just coming back from BRB. Have just finished our first round of Mask of the Rose. Pursuing Archie. Archie gets arrested in desperation, do favors for the devils to get their help, and their help turned out to be not just for my soul, but for my service. I claimed to be the murderer, gave a false confession to get Archie off the gallows. They knew what was going to happen. The house kicked me out. Horatia thinks I'm a murderer, Archie thinks I'm a murderer, Grizz thinks I'm a murderer, David thinks I'm a murderer, David thinks I'm the one who murdered him. So I lose everything to save Archie. This time we gotta do things. Where's that last autosave going to be? Is that right before the Feast of the Rose? Where is this? When is this? Is this before Harjit? It is. It's directly before Harjit. But you know what? I'm gonna keep that ending where it is. That was a fine ending. That was a fine story. And I could be satisfied with the turn that it took. I've only got 3 slots though, since we're doing this on a PS2 memory card. First foray, unlikely and as happily as you might hope, never mind. Savor your success, delight your disaster as I do. Try again, wiser in the ways of the Neath. Alright. So how are we going to arrange things this time? So everybody else on the initial release complaining of having so few days in the Season of Confessions, whereas we got to enjoy the Season of Confession in full. But Yule was down to like 2 days. The final season was only the final day thereof. So do we do dock work again, ally with the working class and criminals? Child of the gentry, hobnob in high society and with the constabulary. Tailor. Shopkeepers had contacts with society, but their own origins more humble. And maybe some contacts with the artistically inclined. And we have unlocked all the extraneous options as well. Housebreaker's child. My father a housebreaker, his father a highwayman. Came down in the world, no longer doing our crimes on horseback, then father arrested. It furnishes some connections, not always friendly on both sides of the law. So pre-established connections for better and for worse. Undertaker with a dour coat. knew everything there was to know about procuring hearses, hiring mourners, dressing a body, some society contacts, and know their fair share of vicars. Or an arcane academic, esoteric writings, hierarchies of spirits, language of angels, practical powers of creation. Friends in high places and familiar with the church's ways, whether or not we agree. Given the relatively quick tempo, I'm going to try dock worker's child again. Working class upbringing. We are going to give another Guinea another chance at happiness. But we're going to do a few things differently. We've had imagine being something as lofty as a lord or lady, captain, lieutenant, doctor, professor, officer even. And all we're doing is wallowing in Horatius Flat, afraid to go out, and begging it's for a job at the ministry. We'll be a Guinea again. Guinea's second chance at love in an alternate timeline. Portraits don't matter too much. So because this is basically the same Guinea, given a second chance at life, given the same Lee Boo cut, friendship but no romance or physical intimacy, friendship and physical intimacy but no romance. No strings attached, please. Friendship and romance but no touch. Or whatever comes my way, give me the full plate. And then if I could find a happier end to Guinea, then we'll play somebody more salacious. And we don't want to disappoint Grizz badly, do we? See, it's giving Grizz she's. And hers. So everything is femme presenting with her. Haven't got much in the way of clothes. Simple Donald Duck outfit. Badge that Ferret is going to hate. Corsage. Boasting and gallivanting. Frightening things out there. We're not comfortable with the tentacly things and the living statues yet. Encouragement, confront their own mistakes, dark humor, open and build trust. Maybe it won't be too stuffy this time. Given depending. Like, we lost plenty of points with Ferret and had to rebuild points with them by being too upfront at the beginning. Challenge your performance. Or they'd answer my questions, but then flaunting the badge would ruin the relationship from there on out. Maybe this time we'll focus more so on the Landau murder mystery. More lodgers, build trust. Used to be more lodgers, get the pointed questions. Linger with the census. If she's sure about herself, tease her. What if we tease her this time? Now I've given Archie something to be jealous about. Grizz, you can trust us. Give us a hot goss on the ministries. Okay, so different things to do this time around. One of which is not to upset Mr. Pages so badly this time, if you want to stay as an informant for Archie. But probably won't pursue Archie because you've already seen his romances. Sorry, Arch. It led to me selling my soul for you. Let's zoom in as he's worried. Are you jealous, Arch? The possibility Grizz has an interest? Polite non-interest? Intimidate Archie? No. Are you jealous, Archie? So long as you're here, Arch, you gotta make some monies. You know what? How much money do you think we get from Mr. Pages if we flirt with everyone to embellish a census forms on love and then turn them in and leave a trail of heartache behind us? Local alternative? Possibly unwelcome views of the mum. Oh, he didn't like that. So it's better to not insult his mother. Make the mood even more disagreeable. Ouch! Did I antagonize him? Prickly fellow lodger. I guess this is where the timeline splits. Now hold on. Alright, straight to sleep. We'll start the next day. We'll get less floundering done. So even if he upset Arch tonight. What if upsetting Arch tonight means he can't do any of his interfere with Mr. Page's business? Royal family remains unreachable. Majesty's palace shuttered. Why Parliament collapsed. How Her Majesty needed to send criers. So many bats in the world. Did he do criers last time? Fleeting look to Grizz. Intervene before they annoy one each other. Nah, they're all adults. Let them talk. How much would Grizz know when she mentions stranger things beneath London? It makes me read it as something a bit more knowing. Okay, outfit. Who are we gonna see first? I got nothing else. I've simply got Horatia, Grizz, or Harjeet, who might give me more options if we do some visiting around. Plus, he gets me a hat. And if he put his hat on right away, then, maybe that'll give some authority he likes. Tinterground Synagogue. Maybe we'll leave a better impression on Rachel and David. You have no choice but to put it on. Thank him. Mutter ungraciously, take it off again. Try on the flower lapel, thank him. Establish authority with the census. Have I already made him prickly? Antagonist! So it's even before. So it wasn't the flowers that did it then. Oh, because I pressured Harjeet to be open. Ah. I was using the hat he gave me. I thought he'd appreciate it. Threatened for an answer from position of authority. These are awful. Ask about his household. Threaten and demand from authority. Laugh at the misfortune. I've heard worse things lately. Do not presume to comment. The hat is stuffiness and authority. So, what is a hat gonna suggest here? Yeah, a light tragedy. Compared to selling your soul and then losing it all in the end. No Beatrice to save this one in the end. I don't truthfully recognize it, but we haven't had the chance to dream about him yet. Flirt, what he thinks of London, how the neighborhood is doing. New destinations. Let's do some new destinations. Hogslane Market, Proto-Martyr Church, Menace Eradicator. I will try to be nicer to ferrets, and not use my badge on them. Maybe I do want to get close to Harjeet, at least on a friendship basis. Since he is cops, and if we want to help acquit Archie, it'll probably help to have a cop on our side. The badge has been noticed. The glare from the eyes. It's okay, my family were dock workers. Unsatisfied. I haven't established my authority, but he'd hate the authority. I'm making all the bon mots already. Nothing about gender. Sympathize, even if I'm not sharing the same concern myself. Okay, Ferret, how bad do we botch you? Harjeet, on and off antagonist. On and off antagonist is a new categorization. Skeptical acquaintance. Spiky fellow lodger. Soften a mood, but don't hide disapproval. Mood more disagreeable. Household arrangements. Treat the tension as flirtatious this time. To segue into things. Even being flirty doesn't penetrate their defenses. Refuse to answer. Decide the relationship I want with Harjeet. Let's decide on that. Platonic intentions. We should be friends. Let's be friends with our neighbors. I grin. That grin says so much. We should be friends? I grin. We should be saucy partners? I grin. Well, I got no money, so I can't buy anything yet. How's work? Turning away with no, I'm not gonna botch up Ferret. That's the one thing we can't do. I have no intention to save scum throughout the game, but I can't make one of the coolest characters dislike me so bad. I've already lost everything once before, you know? So I smashed through Harjeet. Freebie synagogue to get 2 people to talk to. This way. In the morning we get Harjeet and Ferret. Afternoon, we get David and Rachel, and a little bit on Phoebe. Lose a pale flower? Nah. We're gonna keep the horrific tie. Dramatically ungrateful. Thank him profusely. He's smiling so far. He gets a laugh out of the flower, so the flowers isn't always bad. Have the answers changed? as a chance to flirt. Exact wording of the original sense. Nah. About the household. Laugh at his misfortune. I'm glad that this time it specifies at misfortune. Okay, so far. Informant, we haven't become antagonistic. Persuaded to obey me. If I wipe a tear from my eye, discreet but not unnoticed. Okay, so it wasn't. So it wasn't the flowers that did it after all, it wasn't the tear. He was asking me this time. He didn't ask last time when I was merely antagonistic with him. My upbringing, truthfully about something else, make fun of the question. Why can't my scroll button work as log anymore? Because used to be, I could scroll up and that'll give me the log. Scroll. There is scroll. Scroll does page up, page down. It does not wish to scroll. Log is L. That's a full log. I can't access the log. Maybe it is simply inaccessible when I got these options up. Except I can go to the journal and then log from here. So things that aren't secret but I cannot share with people. Yeah, we got some. What's he think of London? I mean, like I say, it's nice to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Unless Lady Griselda and her type fail. So maybe I could use Harjit as an informant for the Mr. Pages issue. Darkly sympathetic view of the matter, thanks for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me, Harjit. I could trust him with that. Wait, he didn't... Hold on. He didn't give me a location. We didn't get ferrets. How come we didn't get ferret this time? Is that because we confided about something else? It's a split there. Whether we talk about things that further our relationship, or we're gonna pass through, go our separate ways. While we're here, you mind showing me something else? Maybe. Oh well. We can go to ferret some other time we got money. And save some more time that way. Perfectly fine by me. And now I have a bit more positive relationship with Harjit. Companion and informant. So already, positive with Harjit. Archie's a bit spiky, but oh well. It's got simmers. Ministry badge. I might as well. To establish some rapport between them. Tenterground Synagogue. We'll have David and Rachel to talk to. I'll keep this on. And we'll see if I can't get a more positive relationship from the start with these guys. However, I did like what Rachel and I had going on, with starting off super prickly, and then slowly growing into something more warm. Personal connection, my family were dock workers. Working for the ministry on the census. Simply going, I have questions, as we prove with Barrett, is even more suspicious than I'm with the ministry. I'm sorry, I got a census to do. So because I'm not wearing the corsage this time, we're not going to drown her with ghostly chains and whatnot. What do you mean about character research? Inspiration to become a novelist, I think we asked before. Stories we saw before. So, David, let's talk to you first. Sour the mood. Assert myself against David's dominance. This doesn't have to be a cockfight. Put it away, boys. They have a housekeeper that's grand enough. David, any romantic commitments as of current? Haven't been well. I think he's been poisoned for some time, long before Archie. He's already suffering the effects of his poison. It might be too late. David, are you in love? Carringham. Wait, is that the Carringhams that were mentioned? In the, Yeah, I forgot about that. But then she converted. And so that could have been motive. We could have used it as motive. More information about Rachel's unsuitable friend, left the dispute. Rachel, what about this friend? And how often does she get to interview devils? That's material, that's fodder. I got the glary eyebrows. Take Rachel and Milton's side. Or take census information. Come on, give me some more stuff to bring to pages. As a chance to flirt. Make it clear this is for the census. We'll have plenty of chance to flirt with her later. For right now, because it's introductions, I'm still going to be a little bit stodgy. We're here in a government capacity after all. And these are people that England have not been very kind to throughout its history. So there is unequal pressure here. So for introductions, simply for business. So what you do for a living, David? You got your investments, but do your investments still invest down here in the dark? Produced one or two ideas, which owes her something, but not an irritating fellow. So the lack of corsage has saved me this time. Decide to court Rachel. Opinions remains to be seen. We could. She was a fun flirt before. Let's just stay to the relationship now. David, fan. Earn David's admiration now and again. Really? Census filler. Extracted more or less. Well, she's charming. We could court her again. Courting is not a marriage. We could always change our mind. We can go for others. So I will say opinion remains to be seen. Opinion remains to be seen. And I'll keep the badge on, because it turns out going to dinner with Horatia is an actuality. Going with Grizz to see Mr. Pages. Can't we have supper first, though? I've been expecting supper all day. And going with one fewer census form this time. While this goes on, see what messages I got over here. An offer to meet in town and buy dinner after he gets off work. Even alright, that's pretty cool. The sigils that we unlocked that we can see in the main menu also change the which version of this particular? Under its shadow, its walls. I can't open my log. This is the ministry, right? So the ministry's facade gets more sigils even in-game. I can't be too stressed out about time. This is a version of the game that has more days in the Seasons of Confessions after all. Ignore the mood between them or don't. I'm going to ignore the mood for now because this is meeting the boss for the first time. Gratitude for the job. Make no sudden moves. Thank you for the job, Mr. Pages. We'll try not to antagonize you too much so we can continue to spy on your operations. Populous. See, this time there's options I could scroll up. So I do wonder why it didn't work before. Odd. Opportunities in London aren't what they used to be. Pages thinks they're improved. And London appreciates it. That's not quite what I meant, Mr. Pages. A gentle woman in a position of responsibility. So she is describing herself as a gentlewoman. She wears trousers now. So it could simply be a class thing, where she wasn't satisfied with the dull, ennobled lady life of wearing gowns and being served upon. Here, she has responsibilities. So it could be a gender thing, it could be a class thing. Two coin for Arch. Did I complete 7 census forms last time? I can't remember. Okay, looks like it's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream this time, not simply because the internet snapped out during the BRB, and this is now one NVOD and one Start VOD, but also somebody wants Din Din around 4-4 in Town, so I could get dressed, gotta get ready. Well, that's like 2.5 hours from now. Two coins for her dalliance with the devil. The employment? Oh. He's paying extra because she's a novelist. We'll introduce again. And if we're going to flirt with Rachel, we'll do it while writing stuff. And who knows, maybe this time we'll actually be able to hook Grizz and Rachel up together. David's page is only worth 1, David. Nothing to look for. There's something and keeps looking, but it cannot find it. David's got mysteries that haven't been revealed. Two in Harjeet. Why do maps need to be outlawed? What is that supposed to mean, Mr. Pages? I've only got a hominid brain. Pay back my half of the rent. You know, I've gone the entire rest of the game for like 3 seasons without paying my rent outside the back rent. Horatia's very kind. Keep up with the job to something better. Decide and confess I have flirtatious interest in Mr. Pages. I don't see Zoku. I don't see, was it Swedish guy that also expressed that I should go for Pages? I don't see anybody around who is saying that I should pursue Mr. Pages full on. A gloomy conclusion. Snap at her. What's a gloomy conclusion? That Grizz and Pages? It's a bad idea making promises. Made no progress. Pages. Detractor. Detractor sounds kind of negative. Made the acquaintance of Mr. Pages, it is very tall. Well, maybe because I second guessed it a couple of times. And now we'll get a tutorial. Do a bit of light flirting. I already know, skip tutorial. Sorry, Arch. I'm glad they phrase it as skip tutorial, because, you know, I used to be the type of person, right, when I play a game, I want to experience everything that's possible for me. It might not be 100%, but it's as much as I can do. So I would put on so many hours extra, like redoing basic tutorial stuff, just so I could see the content. And a little bit, because like when I was younger, I already had some sort of like supernatural fear that if I don't do things perfectly right, the game is going to fall apart on me. Investigate while I'm there, asking questions. Alright, Arch, let's do it. Give it a sense I don't much care for him. Archie. Archie. Look, you gotta understand, Archie, in a past life, I sold my soul and pretended to be a murderer to save your life. And you left me aside. You took the worst interpretation and you left me. I dislike Archie. I didn't mean to offend Archie. Decide to court Archie or no hurry to change that we are now. A little courtship isn't the worst thing in the world. It could be a comfort. We could be flirty. I'm in no hurry right now. We've already done the Archie route. The Archie route, I say, as if it always leads to selling my soul. That was a choice that I made, and I knew exactly where it was going to go to. Alright, so tasks now. Bring Archie theories about the ministry, craft stories, pay my rent back, but I've only got 7 pennies. Grizz, that's Landau for writing work we can do, 7 census. We could try for that. And so far we have Archie, truth seeker relationship. Simmers could be something more, but he implied we don't get along well enough. Maybe we don't in this timeline. Maybe we keep our relationship entirely professional. David is somehow a fan, which is a new categorization. Grizz is Grizz, she's easy enough. Harjeet, companion and informant, no antagonizing this time. Horatia, haven't met her yet. Mr. Pages is now a detractor. I think I spoke up a bit too much. I might be on eggshells already. Rachel, a census filler. There's no simmer yet, but she's not antagonistic either. Carringhams. I forgot all about the Carringhams. Now, it's only been an hour since coming back from the BRB, since the stream decided to snap itself in twain. But I am going to beer fire myself, get myself a bit more tea, and then we'll begin with Ernest. Now that the requisite introductory part is out of the way. Our true second attempt when I get back. Alright, good. Stream didn't disconnect this BRB. That is always a good sign to come back to. Day 2. Let's do it. Day 2, the second playthrough. It's our newspaper today. Masters of Bazaar prohibit burning of more than 6 candles at once. Candle shortage ongoing. I'm sure that's what it's for. Could build a story, but first, what past recollection do we want? We want to go for Lucian, Tentacles. It seems that you could use these memories in conversations with others. So it could be that I want to tactically choose which ones to want to when. Something about Grizz's family name, Constable Harjeet, checking up on us. Archie and his books. But we're not pursuing Archie this time, so I'm going to kind of devalue the Archie options. Harjeet will be speaking to a bit more, I think, to find locations. Grizz will got stuff to for as well. Let's go Grizz. Didn't speak before the fall, that's why I thought that back before then she was too good for us. Kept her distant, much friendlier since. Now that we're all in it together and have to be in closer quarters. That was my interpretation the first time seeing it. But who knows? We might learn more about Grizz this time and find something deeper in there. Few things with a fortune. Don't think about it. Grizz didn't look impressed. We did that the first time. And it mentioned how now with the scarcity, these few things is lush. What's Grizz's emotional response to it? While we're eating, joking reference, grim reference, don't think about it. The don't think about it is very, very concerning. I think it was a joking reference the last time. What's a grim reference? Change the history. Wow, Horatio can go, Archie can go. Nobody's got any faith in Guinea. See, Everly. That's what I assumed when she introduced herself as Smith to others. It was to hide her aristocratic upbringing. But it could be an identity reinvention. Still some room for interpretation. Okay, story. Archie wants stories that might shock the ordinary Londoner. Gullibility and ignored or locked in. Typical Londoners pose no challenges, ask no questions. And I have nothing but unknown actions for now. Neath changing fits with the memory of seeing the hooded figure scrawling correspondence onto stones. We haven't got that yet. Power, nothing satisfies right now. Nothing satisfies saving London. The unknowable, Mr. Pages, we got nothing. New London was threatened by monstrous things underneath and took some actions, I just don't know what. Ask others. It's a start. We got so many things to do, so if I have to put Archie stuff on the back burner, then I'll simply have to put Archie stuff on the back burner. Got no other clothes, but I do got 7 whole simoleons. We go straight to the Landau house. Introduce Rachel to Grizz. And start work on that. And then turn in the first chapter tomorrow. Or do we go? Nobody's at the synagogue. There's Horatia, we need her census, and paying back what we owe. There's Grizz's census. Ministry misbehavior for both. Only option for Harjit is to show a route, so we can't ask him about minister misbehaviors. But it is a freebie to take us to Ferret. And I half aborted the second attempt because second attempt meant offending Ferret even worse than the first time around. And we got 7 coin in pocket, so this will be a chance to make a better impression on Ferret while simultaneously having coin to buy more clothes. It might be inescapable, offending Ferret a little bit at first. If I go badge first to be like, sorry mate, ministry business, but I'm a dock worker, humble lad just like you. And then simply repair the offense of coming in all business-like the first time. It's a shame they don't sell corsages. At Ferrets, at least. St. Albans, the Devils, the Menace Eradicators. It's kind of a shame that this badge says business only, no conversation. Since I'm wearing it to him, to wear it elsewhere, we could also sneak in some side conversations before doing the hey Harjit, could you show me a place? And Ferret is gonna eye my badge first and foremost. Badge has been noticed. A single eye glares, the other eyebrow cocks up. Immediately met with suspicion, we pay the constables their due. It's okay, it's alright, I'm dock worker family, you're rat catchers, common struggles, common clay. Establish authority. Explain I'm working for the ministry. It's suspicions at first, but his credentials. If I just go out gunning for questions, they might think they're being interrogated. Make the mood more disagreeable. Don't let myself be tricked. It's like, which one is it? Authority? In Disco Elysium, who comes in with a big baritone, telling you not to be mocked, be all machismo and humiliate the other person. No, I'm not gonna fall for that again. Full name, please? Politely? Courtesy, great-grandsire, wife, lord, lady, stoat, weasel. Ferret has good humor. And the little rat squeak in the background to punctuate it. Nah, no such spot for that. Sympathy. Critical question, but reassuringly. can't imagine anyone could sense the share. Ouch. Who knows, Guinea, if we get kicked out of the townhouse again? Ferret could be salvation. I'm sure there must be an option, a situation someday, where making the mood disagreeable is actually the right thing to do. But in every situation I found, I really doubt. But that's gonna help me out, Denny. Flirtatious, simply ask for romantic connections. It's introductions or your own business, we can't abuse our power just yet. Okay, did we not antagonize them too bad this time? Skeptical. I'll take skeptical. Maybe we won't ask about the maps right away. We'll do our apology for coming on an official business first. Come back on more pleasant, friendly house calls later. Then ask about maps and whatnots. Okay, Harjeet, you and I are gonna be friends. You've given us a nice hat. You give us locations. We should be friends. And... surprise at his help. Point out how much he does for the neighborhood. That's kind of the glare again with the he has his place, I have mine. Not too big a fan of the cops, I bet. Back to business, the flirty business, work. The particulars of rat catching, goods for sale. See what they got first. Because I am in desperate need. Disguising to trail people will probably be more important. If I chose to treat the David murder and the Archie acquittal without immediately right away throwing myself to devils to sell my soul to get him back. Powerful friends, I could have probably used pages. I bet the judge would have bent over if a master from one of the ministries told him to relinquish his prisoner. And so far, Pages is only a detractor, right? Simply a detractor. I've sassed him a couple of times lightly, but I do good work for him. So we haven't broken our professional working relationship yet. I like the hat, and it does give me brownie points. The trouble is, every single conversational option for the hat is please, I am so sorry, forgive my existence. I don't know what came over me, how dare I sully your doorway. So I could use it for the social capital, but not for the conversation. All for 1 penny, hope for the best. I'm so surprised that cap is more expensive. Simple cap? Simple cap like this big, no bigger? And more expensive than the jacket? Turning away, I wasn't done shopping! There was still stuff to... oh, I could always buy next time. We'll come back. We'll come back some other time to buy some more stuff. And build some more rapport. Alright, let's go make introductions. Grizz to Rachel. Maybe start getting a little bit further like last time. Oh, who knows? Maybe Rachel won't be too accepting of my full-on lower-class outfit. Tactfully explain their need, rudely explain, Grizz, handle it? Nah, we got this. Grizz is fine when it comes to the ministers, the masters, and the whatnot. Use the moment for Grizz with Rachel. Let Grizz interpret on her own. Draw swift conclusions about them both. I tried to hook them up the first time, but I was naive in thinking that a romantic story would put these two together. Rachel was like, oh, what are you doing? Writing this romantic story, it's garbage. Write something with substance. So I brought her a dismal story, but with the same two characters. And she was like, are you trying to warn me off about Grizz? So maybe could try to weave these two more naturally into a story that has them happier by the end. Pointedly observe, Grizz seems keen on Rachel. Observe Rachel dislikes Grizz. Or Grizz dislikes Rachel. Grizz, are you keen on Rachel? A very observant Rachel. Defend the masters, agree with Rachel. Man, I bet you that giant crab down below would love the story of the first Guinea. Falling for Archie, Archie gets arrested, desperately pleading with the devils and all the tragedy therein. What finer love story is there than one that ends with everything lost, and as everybody else celebrates their romances and their togetherness by the fireworks, we, in our humility and destitution, simply get picked up by a priest for a second chance to start over. The only happy ending available after losing all romantic options and friends. Except the assignment helping Rachel might be preferable to census taking, though we still will. Heroine recovers from betrothal to someone left behind on the surface. Just to skeletons. See, that's what I mean, right? Like, you have all these blocks you can fill in running a story. But I think I'm starting to suspect that the type of story is more important than getting all the blocks right. Like, if you write some sloppy thing, but in the end, it gets a certain story type, that might be the bit that matters. And like she says, she'll fix the rest. Grizz silent throughout because she's stewing on the little matchmaking we're trying for. Speed along the connection between Grizz and Rachel. Maybe this time it'll work out. Do you have any feelings for Rachel, Grizz? After we gave a pointed look about it? One cannot say. Oh man, gotta see though, how bad did we botch up? Parrots. Skeptical still. Took against my badge. Respecting the badge didn't work. Wasn't conversation enough afterwards. We never got to enjoy the Christmas pickles! Because we confessed on like day 1 or so of Yule. We just skipped all the way to past Christmas. We had to spend our holidays learning how to curl up souls like spaghetti for the devils. Calmly accept that animals now speak English. See, nobody else is wearing hats to dinner. Stats or otherwise, it's just not polite. Journal. We gotta write chapter 1 for Rachel. And now we know that chapter 1 can't be too happy. You need some drama in there for it to interest her. We could maybe introduce. Maybe we don't introduce Grizz and Rachel in chapter 1 right away. We could have one of them have a dismal, morbid breakup in chapter 1, and then in chapter 2 they get together. So maybe in chapter 1 it's Rachel and Milton that try to pursue something to disastrous effect, and in chapter 2 the spoiled one could enter the scene. But wait, no, the spoiled one's a part of it, isn't she? Since her betrothal. We'll sort that out the next day. "11 whole days. Plenty of time to flounder around, get some pay in. Renowned scientist pronounces recent events result of volcanic activity, sun veiled in ash." Given this is 260 some days, I'm wondering which recent activity they mean. Okay, story, what have we got? So Grizz is locked in. It has to be Grizz who's bereaved. But it can't be a happy story. Even if I make it a happy story with Rachel and Grizz, she'll discard. She'll say it's not good enough. It's too sappy, too happy. And if I make it suitably dramatic with Rachel participating, she'll understand that I'm trying to write a story about these two, but then take it in the worst way if it's not happy, so there's no pleasing her. So you are bereaved and pining for your lost love. Lost her betrothed in the fall of London, believed to be traveling in France. But he was inaccessible as if he had died. It was intolerable. And you were hoping for love as well. Authoress saw the opportunity to pursue her long-standing love of the spoiled beauty. I can't put her in yet, because it's either happy and it's not good enough, or it's unhappy, and Rachel takes it as a warning. The Bohemian Gentleman. The Londoner. Oh, maybe we could write something more direct about Grizz's situation. A loss of status? Nah. We could maybe write this out as if she's pining for a lost love and you're hoping. It doesn't quite work out with Mr. Pages, though, for what I want. To gain the spoiled beauty's fortune, civil servant did something. The intriguing stranger. We'll put Milton, the Bohemian gentleman, wanted wealth and suggested an affair. You accepted, but then you returned to synagogue. The return to synagogue makes me think that it wants me to put Rachel in, or at least that the return to synagogue fits with Rachel. Neathborn. Bohemian gentleman sought her fortune, attempted to seduce her. Beauty accepted, though surprised by the circumstance. Experience so affected the spoiled beauty that she was drawn back to religious observance of her upbringing. And the Bohemian wrestles with regret. See, how do I swap this? How do I make it so that she regrets the relationship? So right now, she is a catalyst, but it's this who either suffers or not. Unhappily married? Spoiled beauty and happily married, Bohemian gentleman, considers regret beneath him. Lost status. Lost her brilliant alliance. Society expected her not to accept any other suitor. Position intolerable. Is inspired. What else could I do? What else could I mix into here? She's bereaved, she's Grizz. Squeeze Archie into there, squeeze Horatia into there. Self-insert. Write what you know. The types seem less effective for this one. By what outcomes or what details, the more who you put in. Write what you know for myself. Neathborn for Milton. A misalliance, if I make it about Rachel. So I think for this one, the more discriminating factor is a who's who. Let's make it this then. Somehow came to her circle, attempted to seduce her. Pursue love. I'm gonna say she was seduced. And she suffers for it. But he's happy enough. And I'm sure that Rachel will take these skeletons and flesh it out better than I can. Corner of the basement for the tentacle. Constable Harjeet, not quite yet. Give us that tentacle. That's conversation for Horatia. Tentacle hole, tentacly. Motive to serve an eldritch purpose. That's right. That's where we get the eldritch purpose motivation from. Could I add that motivation? No, not for this one. A plot for Rachel to get her heroine out of a ruined engagement. Well, the guy's lost. Could not bear to think of him, still enjoying the sunlight and the tenderness of French ladies, while she languished. Overpoweringly envious, spent all of her time wishing to be above. Status. Lost brilliant alliance with the no more suitors. Let's get her pining for love. She'll be heartbroken. Heartbroken, then some schmoozer comes in. And now she is all miserable like. So first time he messed up, I'm making it too happy. How about this? It's not a self-insert. It doesn't have her in it to act as a warning. London is merely wrapped in cloud and not, in fact, inside a giant cave. So that is what the Ischias volcanic ash refers to. Literally the ear of gaslighting. Is she glad? Or is she just like, sir, this is Wendy's about this? Doesn't matter. Okay, so the plot where the heroine fights nightmares. The social value, shaking up tradition. She's the ideal person to write it. Talk her up. That's what matters. If Pages is willing to pay. So the fact that she was given a spiriferous fork, I'm going to assume from her dalliance with Milton. What would this imply? That this affair of theirs, though they're just friends, led to her own spirifage, and she got to keep the fork as a kind of souvenir? Was she being trained up? Or is this simply a morbid present from a morbid suitor? Eight-hole coinage. Wild and profuse gratitude. Thanks simply, don't mention it. Wild and profuse gratitude. To artistic friends, future plans are be off. How about artistic friends? Maybe more folks so we could interrogate. Writers and poets taking the company of devils, the poor souls. We should be friends, or opinions remain to be seen. I haven't been flirty with her, so there's no option to make it saucier. We weren't antagonistic either, so we can't repeat the previous pattern of starting off as uncomfortable antagonists. Uncomfortable antagonists making things more difficult for each other, and then slowly, methodically, heating things up between us. I'm too nice is a problem. I haven't made my intentions clear with people. Chapter 2. The Heroine's Troubled Dreams. Now, I think, Rachel can enter the scene. Spoiled Beauty and the authoress encountering one another in the land of nightmares. Maybe the reason is because I didn't put the authoress in the first chapter, and so I didn't accidentally turn it into a warning to stay away from Grizz. And so with her hearts and affections freed up, or not in this case, Grizz was hoping for oblivion, and Rachel had loved hopelessly. The authoress had slept deeply at last, while Rachel, or the spoiled one, not sleep at last, while Rachel, the authoress, died. Allowed her to stay. Outcome: we'll put a little bit of drama into this, not make it a fully happy ending yet. She is going to suffer her social standing for moving in. Tragic ending though. So it's still tragedy either way, but it's a good tragedy. They're living together. Spoiled Beauty, authoress, encountered one another in the land of nightmares. Spoiled Beauty dwelled in the place more than waking life. Even when the spoiled beauty seemed awake, thoughts often elsewhere. Authoress, hopelessly in love with the beauty, met only in dreams. Spoiled Beauty did something, and so the authoress had to stay in the lodging house. Authoress regrets. Spoiled Beauty is a pariah. Could I get a happier outcome than this? No, I can't. A happy ending. If I simply make her envious. She might not accept this though for being a kind of happy ending. It's not fully happy though, because we have the spoiled beauty dreaming for oblivion at first. We have envy here. We'll see what she thinks of this one. Afternoon, I got 8 simoleum. We've already got ferrets. We can get new roots. See a couple of devils. Phoebe? We could do the sense with Phoebe too. We haven't interrogated Phoebe the first time either. And that'll be more stuff for the bazaar. We also haven't paid what we owe Horatia, or taken the census with her. What if I take the census and then pay off what I owe afterwards? I'm sure I could fit 2 conversations into like 6 hours of afternoon. It's not even leaving the house, just walking downstairs. I'll pay her back when I have a bit more money. We never met Phoebe, and if we're going to take author Archie's incarceration and David's murder more seriously, instead of pursuing Archie head over heels to my own oblivion, I probably want to have more FaceTime with our local intercultors. Familiar and comforting, but with the badge of office. How about that? Familiar and comforting still, and it can't be helped that there's some discomfort with the badge, but it should assuage any worries for barging my way into her mistress's home. To demand certain questions about who lives here, do you love anyone? Working for the ministry, apologetically about the census. Maybe now is when the hat could work, but the hat is excessively apologetic. The hat isn't just working class, the hat is somebody who has been whipped and abused for spilling the oatmeal too many times and wants to grovel with their forehead in the dirt before they get whipped again. Go with the badge. As a chance to flirt, ask, we can declare this is for the census. And yet she's constantly smiling, despite whatever she may be feeling or thinking about my intrusion and the badge on my lapel. Never breaks her demeanor. That is service with a smile. Flirt or be off. This is an official business, so I can't be flirted on official business. It's improper like. Decide to court. Only platonic intentions. Remains to be seen. After all, she could be a suspect. She could have been an agent in delivering the fatal poison to David. Milton was there that day. Milton's visited several times before, I'm sure. And I'm pretty sure I recall Milton having spoken that is Phoebe, right? At least once. Wrong button, it's R. Now, technically, this is of a different color than Batoshi Kan's tentacles, but maybe it changes after cooking. I think it's tried to make clear that these aren't the tentacles of Batoshi Kan's kin, there's other tentacly things, but I can't help but feel that this stew is a proto-rubbery lump. So what's in it? Chewy type of fish, going by the flavor. Flatter Horatia. Let Grizz say what she's burning to say, prevent further inquiry. Thank you for the meal, Horatia. Okay, so let's see. Couple more census pages. So that'll help us get close to our 7 census forms total. Then we'll pay Horatia for back rent and the rent after that. Archie's theories I always fall behind on. I have to dedicate full on. But I do want to see what Rachel thinks of this novel that I got for her. And so far, Archie on good terms with, David somehow a fan, but I haven't spoken to him yet either. We get lots of Rachel time in. But the last time, David kind of fell by the wayside. Skeptical with Ferret still. Likeable companion, Harjeet now. Likeable. We didn't do anything with him extra. But getting the location to Ferrets. And we've been upgraded to likeable companion. Skeptical census taker. Informant still. That's alright. We have what, 10 days left in Confessions? Then all of Yule and the season after to develop further bonds? 10 days Confessions? London swallowed whole by Leviathan. Sermon on the Wrath of an Angry God. Technically, this one isn't too far off. And what's today's memory going to be? Archie, Harjeet, a bit of something in the mirror. What's Harjeet got for us? Horatia answered, not quite right. Grizz answered. That's not right. Gave us Grizz, I think. What if our memories say Horatia instead? Offered to eat, glad when he left, more frightening when he was gone. Advertised lodgings. That one is new. We didn't have advertised lodgings, I don't think. Where to squeeze in advertised lodgings? I doubt I could use it for this story. Probably for other possibilities that I haven't unlocked by skipping a good half the game the last time. Well, if we go in the morning, Rachel is going to be busy the entire rest of the day, if the story is good. So what we could do is we could turn in this chapter. Then we could go back to Ferrets to build up some more rapport, get closer to being friends, closer into their confidants, so we can get back to Batashikan, and his antique friend. While Grizz is absent. Okay, let's see what Grizz has to say about a somewhat happy but still kinda dismal chapter 2, but it ends on a happy note. But it's not a conclusion happy. It's a dramatic happy to lead to better. Relief and surprise at Rachel's continued survival. And we haven't even been to church yet. Kinda. Flattery, Grizz. Even acquiring groceries requires very strange associations. This is what? Our first chance to actually flatter her? There's a very soft smile. That hadn't really changed anything between us. He plots. Is she going to accept the happy plot, or does it have to be dismal all the way through until the end? Come on! It's not a conclusion happiness, though. It's building up. It's not a standing stop. There's every other trail of breadcrumb I left behind. What about the Boheme? What about the Boheme that was after her wealth? He's still there? What about the envy and the societal consequences? What about the spoiled beauty still dreaming for oblivion? That hasn't stopped. Flatter her into using it. Refuse to change a thing. I don't know. She says it's a standing stop, though. That could maybe get 2 chapters and not 3. We get it very well. And if nothing else, it's different. And we don't have to waste an entire day rewriting, then resubmitting it the next day. Well, this time she has taken notice of what I try to put into the story. So I just have to force her to use it, and then she takes the hints. And we get New Market anyway. And 2 whole coin for me. Thanks simply, wild, profuse gratitude. And there's still the next chapter, so it's not just 2. What about future plans? We've already spoken about artistic friends. Are you, Guinea, going to do great things? Because the previous one of yous ended up in complete oblivion, with nothing else to his name, literally. Ministry, docks or even Zailing, settling down with a family maybe. Maybe we'll take to the boats to build our fortunes. Wealth, exploration, escape from London, hint at reasons. I should think these are all hints. How esoteric are these hints? My own reasons. Okay, where's the undo button? Simply friends still. Okay, let's be friends then. If this version of Guinea and Rachel aren't going to be flirty antagonists, we can at least be friends. So let's see. Introduce some new incident to get the heroine's troubles moving again. That kind of sounds different from the previous one. The previous time, the 3rd chapter, felt terminal. A misadventure this time. So inserting the happy bit probably extends it. Maybe we get 4 things we can do. Content with life. When passing London streets one afternoon, Spoiled Beauty encountered someone, and then did something to someone, and then did something in response. Encountered the cops. Encountered Rachel again. Encountered the self-insert. Feared for the other. Grizz feared for Guinea, who hoped for vengeance, who also loved hopelessly. Oh, the Boheme. The Boheme comes back. It was after her for her wealth, giving her nightmares from their flawed affair, and then she ran off to live with the authoress. And now he is back, and she fears, not just in her dreams, but her waking life, and so she ran. Dead! Has nightmares, inspired, unhappily married, returned to the synagogue. Spoiled Beauty, content with life and passing through London streets one afternoon, the Spoiled Beauty encountered the Bohemian gentleman with a long-standing grudge against the Spoiled Beauty for reasons going back many years. She escaped a past situation, and then he passed away, and is deceased. Never returned from the far shore. She runs away, and he does nothing. I don't know about that. Took a new and terrifying form after death. Notice this huge blank space here. There's a small space here, and a huge space here. So I think because I got some narrative incompatibilities, there's a swallowed paragraph. Dying seems to be the best thing he can do. Spoiled Beauty noticed nothing. So notice nothing's for the spoiled beauty. And also for the Wahid. Nightmares again. There you go. Paragraph didn't get eaten this time. Spoiled beauty escaped a past situation. Bohemians perished, and now haunted by nightmares once more. And yet he took a new and terrifying form in some hidden place. There's not many conclusions here, so I guess nightmare's the best I can do with this. The beauty noticed nothing. The Bohemian did not lift a finger to intervene. The hallmarks of drama. Spoiled beauty escaped. Bohemian did not see what was happening and knew nothing about the matter until later. And he fights his regrets. He knew nothing until later and fights his regrets. He has become an element that shall return in the final chapter. Left very bitter last words, and the spoiled beauty is haunted. Spoiled beauty escapes, Bohemian dies, leaves bitter last words, and now the beauty is haunted. Nah, he's got that toxic love coming in. She's escaped. He hasn't noticed. Until later. And now has more regrets to act a later time. Now how to spend my 10 coin? I haven't seen the hog slaying market. I could probably do some shopping after filling some census sheets. But I want to do more rapport with Farah too. Otherwise, how could I get back to Batashikan? We have so many days. We got well over a week left in the season of confession, so we could squeeze in so many things. Flirt with Ferret. The theory that London's been swallowed by a Leviathan, straight to the point. So we've already got some major differences in this timeline. One, I have no flirt buddies, because Archie and I are simply congenial collaborateurs, and because I've actually been somewhat halfway successful in pushing Grizz and Rachel together, we're actually friends, and not adorable antagonists. Which was actually a pretty comfortable story in that in itself. I like Straight Up as a solid story too, starting off antagonists, then getting warm for each other. So maybe with those two options vanished in this timeline, we'll be sweet on Ferret a bit. Distrusting look, ah! There's my flirty antagonist. A disguise the trail, some nicer clothes, shady and disreputable. We haven't done shady and disreputable. But Somber has been helpful in so many situations. Maybe they'll be nicer if I overpay. Maybe that's why we were able to more easily afford a friendship with Ferret the previous time, because we overpaid for the coat by a coin. And that might have softened him up to me. And then we apologized afterwards, and no harm, no foul. And now I'm allowed to buy more than one thing. Unlike last time, it was buy one thing, then get out of here. That'll bring me down to 6. Well, not gonna squander this friendship, what little friendship I've got. Close friends fail to recognize. I would say, what if I wore the wig to my confession? But I'm pretty sure Harjeet would have recognized me, especially after interrogation. And I probably still would have gone to court as myself. So my guilt of murder still would have been announced to everybody. Do come back. I've actually got a positive ending this time. A positive goodbye. Skeptical still. Did Ferret a favor. Okay, so that's the way into Ferret's confidence. Just constantly overpaying for things. Look and feel much less like myself. Implausible stories come readily to mind. Pastoral comfort for dark truths. Wigmore suited to stage in the pulpit, but discourages recognition. The hat speaks of fashion and magnificent confidence. Okay, one more dinner than BRB. Comforting theory, reassurance. He's doing good for somebody else's mother. There's always an option. Hey, Sap and Stars. How did it all go with Moss? We didn't get to do much with Moss, Sap and Stars. We picked up where we left off yesterday. Introduced to Moss. Put our vote in for Moss to stay at the boarding house. And then the next day, when we went to the Devils to make good on our agreement, to help out with Arch. I mean, you saw that part. That was the throw yourself at the mercy of the court, claim to be the murderer, and we'll pick you up and claim you work for the infernal revenue, for the infernal services. We didn't get to do much with Moss because as soon as we turned ourselves in, we visited Archie. Turns out to say goodbye. Went to Harjeet, made our confession, and it pretty much skipped all the way to the end of the game. We had our day in court. We put in a simple confession. Not too many confusing twists or loose ends. It was taken at face value. And all of our friends took it at face value. Archie wanted nothing else to do with me because he felt, as predicted, that I was going to let him hang for my crimes. Horatia felt that if I was actually a murderer, she didn't want me under her roof. So I was kicked out of the boarding house. The Landows, both Rachel and David, thought I killed David. Which means David doesn't know who killed him. He suspected Archie because Archie gave medicine. But when I confessed that Guinea did it, yeah, sure, it was Guinea then. So I lost my beloved. I lost all my friends. I lost all my places to live. And I had no choice but to be scooped up into Virginia's claw and become a spirifer. Nobody else would take me, so I had to live with the devils. I had to collect souls for the devils. And my happy ending was while everybody else was wearing masks and enjoying the fireworks and getting all lovey-dovey with each other. The only option I had was to be picked up by a priest and given a second chance, which the devils didn't appreciate, so I even lost the good fortunes of hell. No friends with the boarding house, no friends with Archie, no friends with the Landows, no friends in hell. Simply a second start at life. It did fall apart, but there's no better way that you could end a Mephistophelian story. There's no Beatrice to come in and save me at the end. Just a broken man who made the wrong decisions for an easy win and lost everything for it. That is poetry. I couldn't be any more satisfied for a first ending of the first playthrough. And nothing to lose. Time to consider seeking. Well, that Guinea's gotta grind all of his stats up first. Plus, I was doing my research on the effects of soullessness that it turns out there aren't really, like, consistent effects of soullessness. Apparently there's effects in game, because when you sell your soul, your affections for Archie go from spicy romance to simple companionship, so there is something lost there. But insofar as the greater fail betterverse goes, in all of my research, the only real consequence of soullessness is difficulty when seeking the name. Which means that after getting his second chance, that Guinea would need to somehow get his soul back if he wants to pursue it. So even that is cut off. Lost his friends, lost his love, lost his house, lost the good fortunes of hell, and lost the ability to seek the name. And apparently your joke about selling your soul every Hallowmas is actually true. And what I was able to glean up from research is that people laud the ability to sell your soul every single year for a good amount of echoes or whatever. And you could just get it back reliably afterwards. Narratively seems to be a deadening of emotions, marital problems, etc. It seems like it could. Like, from what I could tell from looking up, like, forum posts, Reddit posts, various wikis, there's a possibility of emotional deadening, but some people are fine. The most consistent thing I could find is that all the soulless walk with a hunch, a slouch, but other than that, sometimes it's emotionless, sometimes it's problems, sometimes nothing changes, all depends. Being emotionally dampened is a benefit in some careers? Probably. That's why sociopaths and narcissists tend to rise in business and politics. Because when you have no compunctions, when you have a less ability to keep your moral compass aloft, it turns out that stabbing your way to the top is really, really easy. Which would be fitting for certain types who want to sell their souls for benefit of a less altruistic reason. 9 days remain, just over a week left. So what have we got to do? Finish story for Rachel. Get a few more census pages. Get in enough confidence with ferrets to be able to meet Batashikan again, pay off my desperation. And if I got 2 things I can do per day and go back to Mr. Pages for the payments in the first place, I probably won't have time to do Archie stuff to find out his truths from Mr. Pages. But at least we get to see Yule. We'll focus more on the investigative side when Yule comes around. But the very first thing I gotta do is pee, because all this tea is going right through me. Especially now that I'm running again, and I'm getting some metabolic processes over, and needing all these fluid replenishment, which means all the fluid get rid of, so I'll be back in a second. There you go. Just been selling your soul for fun, Sappin Stars. Maybe, if I was playing more Fallen London regularly, the actual browser game version, maybe I'd have the inclination. But because I'm more of a tourist to the Neath than a hardcore denizen, this is my one opportunity. After 6 years, 4 games, finally got around to sell my soul, and of course, when it happens to Guinea, everything falls apart. Ministry of Accounting and Recounting offers extra rations in exchange for old pound notes. And now begins the game hinting me, hey Guinea, you want to ask your friends to do stuff, or to do stuff for them. Maybe because up until making friends with Ferret, I haven't had anybody in really high standing. The second worst. That's the second worst consequence? Losing my love, my friends, my house. The eventual support of the devils themselves, and completely starting over from scratch is only the second worst consequence to soullessness? I'd hate to ask, but what's worse? Archie Harjeet. Better pull up the receipts and check the exact circumstances. Take your time. I'm eager to know now. What if I'm gonna be all businesslike with these census forms, I could wear the wig first. Wear the wig first, so I could flaunt the ministry badge around, and then nobody's going to know it was me. And then I'll just come back knowing everything about them. We haven't had the chance to dream about Lucian yet. Friendships about persuasion, not infrequent ones. I think he's talking about his own dating prospects drying up with me not around. And since we aren't pursuing Archie this time. Okay. Ready to hand in. Let's see if Rachel's going to appreciate this Neath-born story. We can help David out. We can get some time with David before he dies. Interestingly, we can't make friends with Phoebe. The need for laws, the sinister nature of authority. Against baseless speculation, nah. Let it thrive on the off chance we actually get some stuff for Arch. Tesh. Wretched in a good way? That is something terrible. Word from what the Command Canal. Alright, so at least she's accepted it. Maybe it's a good wretch, like, oh my goodness, that's so horrific, I love it. So we're getting 4 actual chapters this time, not just the 3 that we got last time. For doing all the things she wants. Receipts time, lay it on me. Offer friendship, we might as well. We're not saucy antagonists this time, so we could be friends. She doesn't trust. Okay. So she's wise enough to keep Milton at distance. You can sell a stained soul at Halomas, and at Halomas only. If you do, venturing into the Forgotten Quarters results in your being hunted by devils, and the loss of significant amount of resources. Okay, now I understand that. Losing my beloved, that could be replaced. Losing friends, that could be replaced. The house can be replaced. But resources. One of the reasons my time with Fallen London was brief was because while I enjoyed it, and I grinded as much as I could, losing all those resources, that is hours. That is dozens upon hours at best, hundreds at worst. Best possible ending to that event is going completely mad. Otherwise, all your money and okay, fair enough then. I could see now why that's the first worst thing you could do with the lost soul. Look after yourself, my friend. Try to study human nature as Rachel does. Rachel's like a member of my own family. Well, that's pretty cool, because we had this person is like a member of my family for Horatia before, and I wouldn't mind getting that status back. But for Archie, previously, we had I agree with Archie says we should see the world as he does. Study human nature as Rachel does. I think that is a fine thing to do. That's a fine thing to emulate. She's always observing. She's got a very sharp eye for people. We could do with worse mentors. Do I have my soul back now or still a bit empty? That Guinea went to an ignoble end. He's got a second start at life, but as far as I can tell, he is soulless. He ends February with nothing to his name but a second chance, not even his own immortal soul. So I'd imagine in that road line, maybe he does get it eventually, or maybe he simply remains a broken, soulless husk of a man. This Guinea is all the way back in Seasons of Confession. This is our second time through it now. And so, this one still has his soul. I know, right, Seven Stars? What a wretch! It's remarkable. Like, we saw that coming a mile away, because what else is going to happen in a romance game if you sell your soul to literal devils to save your beloved? If you're going to sell your soul to save your beloved, that beloved is going to get stripped away. And we didn't just lose a beloved, we lost everything. I was thinking, well, maybe we do lose Archie, but if you lose Archie, maybe we could pursue other people, but no, we just lost it all. We lost everything. That is good. That's not just dessert, that's the entire entree. That's the entire course, that's the whole table. It's a buffet. It is everything in the kitchen. And so I'm happy with that. It was a terrible end for that first Guinea, but it is a fantastic ending for me. Okay, she wants an end, a conclusion to her story. She's gotten some happiness, and then I had to make another chapter just to derail that happiness, and so it must end properly now. Learning of a romantic abandonment. And then of course comes David, jilted David, and this is where I had David die the last time. Man of business regrets past relationship. Found someone else. and regrets nothing. Whereas you regret your own relationship. Notice nothing is so. Spoiled beauty struggled with the knowledge that her long-lost betrothed had married somebody else. Man of business encountered her in the midst of this gloom. The man of business has regrets about his past relationship. Yours or your new marriage? And the notices nothing, doesn't understand what is happening, regrets nothing. No. Spoiled beauty struggles with the knowledge that her long-lost betrothed had married somebody else, and so they meet. Man of business was in love with no hope of return. Even worse, for the spoiled beauty. Spoiled beauty knows nothing, man of business failed to understand what was happening. Spoiled beauty struggles with a consuming envy. A tragic ending? Oh, the man of business flees London. Sometimes it swaps them around. Man of business in love with no hope of return. Spoiled beauty had noticed nothing. The man of business immediately fled London. Man of business, happy marriage. Spoiled beauty consumed by envy. Nah. Spoiled beauty did something with the man of business, who perished. Happy ending? Man of business was in love, no hope of return. Spoiled beauty did something to the man of business, who subsequently perished. The man of business is enjoyed posthumously as a virtuous spouse, and the spoiled beauty regrets nothing. So your jilted lover returns, very happily in love with his current marriage. Where's the flee London option though? It hasn't manifested into the story. You're hopelessly in love, but then die of a broken heart when the spoiled beauty sees somebody else. No regrets, happily married. Long-lost betrothed married somebody else. They meet. Man of business deeply in love. Spoiled beauty sees somebody else. You don't get what's going on. But now you're in a happy marriage. You regret nothing. Man of business unhappily married. Spoiled beauty regrets nothing. Regrets past relationship, but the spoiled beauty had noticed nothing. Man of business doesn't understand. Why does she not return my affections? And now he is unhappily married. And now he is dead. What if no hope of returns mean he physically can't return, rather than love being impossible to have reciprocated? Maybe. Ultimately, it is all down to Rachel to make something of this. I just put the pieces of paper together. There has to be a death. The notice is nothing. Would have potential. I'm sure Rachel could make something of it. But in this brief summary, it doesn't impress me enough. Sorry, David, I keep killing you off. Lost Petrov married somebody else, so I'll give him regrets. But too late, man. Spoiled baby sees somebody else. He dies a broken heart. Tombstone pointedly disregarded by his spouse. No regrets for the beauty. Maybe despite all the drama, one of the tragedies of the story is that the man of business will still be remembered fondly, despite all the hurts that he has done. But it is fine, because she is so over that, she is not going to lower herself to his level and simply move on with her life with no regrets. True happiness, meaning that she has no concern at all for this drama. Hey, Chillin' Chum, welcome! Maybe death and love are the same. Could be. I'll have to ask David the next time he dies to talk about that boatman he mentioned. Okay, we could go to Hog's Lane. I've still only got the 2 of these. I was able to interview the people in Amber, right? The Mongolian lady and the rubbery man. But by that point of the game the first time through, I've already burnt my bridges with the Ministry. So maybe this time we can get a couple more from them. And that'll bring me up to 4. Then we can go back to Mr. Page's. So let's see if Ferret has any work for us. No need for somber, we'll go working class bloke. Oh my goodness, Chillin' Chum, you slipped and fell at work on Sunday night. Hospital Monday. Monday, Tuesday night off, setting up stuff. Long-term investment account to well-stable account. Phone calls for appointment, casting appointment. Best of luck with that, Chillin' Chum. Hope it all goes well, health-wise especially. You holding up all right? Paperwork and monies aside? Paperwork for med expenses to finish your taxes. Then more money back. I guess the money back at least is positive. Hope it all works out well. Busy and a gong show this week to start. At least nothing else but up from here, right? Starting low, but can only work up after. Okay, this time we are allowed to be flirty with Ferret. And we have no other options. When I put it like that, it makes it sound like I'm desperate. But I said the previous game that Ferret is a fine person if I wasn't already bound for Archie. You could do a whole lot worse than Ferret. You can't live stream and hardly play games. Ow, you can't even play games in your condition. I'm so sorry. Even Egg Inc. Trouble keeping up with your check-ins on the co-op on the Coop contracts. Is that from like the physical pain of it all, the stress, the focus? If it's alright asking? Show flirtatious interest, listen neutrally. I could be flirty. At this point of the game the first time, we had 2 flirt buddies. And they have seen their nest egg, right? These are the royal cellars with rats the size of bears. You're stressed, but handling it well. Normal type of stress that can be productive. Man, I'd love that back. My type of stress now is the, executive dysfunction pseudo-type that just prevents me from doing anything productive. I've got the opposite. Like, I got the worst haul with that stuff. My stress keeps me from working. And and some people don't eat when they're all mooded out, whereas I'm a mood eater. So I got all the stuff working against. Mini panic. Specialist eradication. So, Batashi Khan will go meet tomorrow. When we meet Batashi Khan, we'll get 2 more census forms if we can get census forms off of them. Then the day after, we'll turn in 4 census forms, I hope, to Pages. Could go both ways, not eat, then eat way too much unhealthy stuff. Same, especially now that I'm back on my running regime. So, here I've got the hungers back, and putting on way more calories than I'm burning off. But it'll balance off again. Just gotta get the beast riled up, then I'll relax. Origin of the tentacle creatures below. Ask about their work, particulars of the rat-catching business. Goods for sale. All they've really got is the criminal outfit, which I can maybe use. How's work going, Ferret? Less? Oh. We should be able to ask about the map stuff now. Skeptical companion, relationship simmers pleasantly, could become something more. Do we have enough trust to ask about the maps? We're friends now, right, Ferret? Warm my hands at the furnace, always welcome. We're in their good graces. We got it. Encourage Ferret in a more romantic or seductive direction. We weren't able to... I think we chose seductive once with Archie, once we moved from kisses to I love yous to promises to move back to Glasgow together. And then he has to go and get arrested. So all that sauciness we don't get to make use of. We never got to see saucy, seductive directions before. What do you say, Ferret? How does that change the nature of our relationship now? We weren't even flirty, we just went straight from a little bit belligerent to comfortably friendly to straight in, let's go seductive. Like Ferret to become my lover, but only flirted so far. Romantic interest, don't seem keen on marrying. That's the answer they gave when they weren't fully trusting of me and my ministry badge. But what if they fall somewhere on the A spectrum too? What am I wearing? There we go. I've only got 3 slots here, which makes me wonder if I could only have a maximum of 3 torsos. or if it scrolls. Maybe there's always one extra space, because here there's 4, here there's 1 when I got 0. So I think it just expands the more you put in. Always one option for blank. So meet and thought? Nah. We've met more than once, not immediately going for the bangin'. And hey, the vicar, speaking of. Not acquainted with all of the lodgers, meaning Guinea, you haven't shown up yet. Where have you been, man? Impress Theophilus with lies, personal connection with dock workers. Strong and unfriendly, helpful and obedient. It's going pretty quick? I suppose so. One visit belligerent, one visit kind of a waste, finally friendly, then jumping straight into I rather like the look of this chap. Which, given you've only got like 2 weeks max for a season of confessions, and there's every other thing you have to do in the day, I guess it is fairly quick. As far as building a lasting relationship goes, people don't waste their time, they make up their mind. The food will still be there, Guinea. Comment that everyone else probably knew this before me, so it's not just apologetic. My working class hat is whiny too. Maybe he'll exist nearby. Calmly accept that devils go around asking for people's souls. As we know firsthand now. Must refuse her anything she asks. Now you tell me, Theophilus. But now we got St. Albans, so we could get some more census forms off of him. Leave a mess for Horatia. Why would I dare do that to the poor woman? I haven't even paid her back my back rent yet. I gotta spend an entire afternoon, an entire day, paying off 1/2 of the rent in the morning, and 1/2 of the rent at night. Then again, by this point of the game, the first time through, I've already paid off at least half the rent. So I'm even more of a louse to her right now. What have we got headline? Ministry of Accounting and Recounting calls all citizens to cooperate in ongoing census. I think that's the game's way of telling me, Guinea, you haven't been to Mr. Page's in forever. We'll go tomorrow. Because I gotta turn in this final bit of the story. And that'll be the morning. But not forgave all. Man of business regrets past relationship. Spoiled beauty forgave the man of business. The man of business straight up dies. Forgave the man of business. Man of business failed to understand what was happening and dies. Forgives a man of business. Man of business has a happy ending, has a happy marriage, but she fights consuming envy. Why do today what could be done tomorrow eternally? That's my past 4 years. It turns out there's always more tomorrows. Okay, let's see what she has to say about this. Oh yeah, recall the past first. Get some more memories than we could use. Maybe we'll get Lucian. Gonna live forever? I mean, once you're out of tomorrows, then it doesn't matter. Stranger across the way. Now we're going to get something for pages. Unshod feet, curved, talon, and the correspondence written. Yeah, exactly. There's always more tomorrows until suddenly it stops mattering. Knew the Neath was changed, and inscribed buildings. Surgical pages. Okay, Rachel. Hopefully this will do for the final bit of the story. Final chapter outline. Know each other too well for any minor eccentricities of dress to surprise her. So all down to, once I'm friends, whatever pieces of clothes I want to whisper into my ear Disco Elysium style. Sinister nature again. What if that's the reason Milton died? Because of his intention of publishing his own literary journal. Happy ending for the jilted heroine. She thinks it's a triumph, the biggest praise yet. So really, I think all that matters is a classification for the most part. Maybe a few things might matter here or there, like Chloe put into it for certain parts, but here she's happy. $13 whole coins! We work well together. And I could pay off my entire debt. Maybe I'll do that first. We'll pay off our debt to Horatia. Then we'll go down. Then we'll get more census forms and talk to pages. Confide in Rachel and discuss my worst secrets. The cats are gonna start talking pretty soon. Do I want to discuss my worst secrets before the cats start telling them to everybody else? We'll confide. Confide sounds safe. A love of music. Aspirations in another field. Declare no interest. I don't want to have no interest, that's boring. What other fields do we have? Vaguely other efforts and aspirations. Like a member of my family? Could be. This could be part of our found family. Rachel, added to the list. You're on the Christmas card. friend. Simply described friend. A great degree of confidence, well, a degree of confidence. Landlady owe her rent. Companion informant. Skeptical companion and flirt. We'll get more of that when we return with news. So for now, don't really have all that much else. We could have Harjit show us a route, as it is afternoon, while Grizz is there. So if Grizz is there in the afternoon, tomorrow morning we could pay back Horatia. And then in the afternoon, get payment while Grizz is there, so we could interrogate Mr. Pages about his involvement, but this time not prematurely end our employment. Oh, I should wear the hat. He likes the hat. The Admiral hat he gave me, it leaves a good impression on him, even if it's just to briefly have him escort me around. Memory of Harjit, disturbing memories of the fall. Nothing yet. Household doing as well as they can in the circumstances until a few days from now when Archie gets arrested. Ask neutrally, does Harjit have feelings for Archie? If his beloved is missing, and if I've already had my romance with Archie in a previous game, maybe I could pair these two together, and that might encourage Harjit to show clemency when it's time to arrest him. Not free to look at someone new. Yeah, but that's the thing, Harjit. His mother picked out a lass for him, and yet he's down here with us. What does that tell you about how he feels about the lady folks? The classic, if he should say anything about his feelings. Potentially, couldn't you do a game where you matchmake everyone together, forsake your own feelings, and just live as a matchmaker? I bet you it's possible. You would need to make friends with everyone, though, instead of focusing on one person for romance, or many if the game allows you. Build up confidences and friendships with everyone, and then play Cupid. The Devil's Townhouse haven't done yet. Tentacle creatures first. Though Devil's Townhouse is a guaranteed 2 people. That'll be 4, but there's a couple down here too. And this time I have no intentions of getting too close to the devils, but I bet you I'll need to at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if they're culpable in at least some part, some major part, in David's murder. Just learn so could return to ferret about that. Coupleable. They are dating options though, chillin'. If you wanted, you could opt to pursue the powerful Virginia, or the handsome and alluring Milton. I'm not sure it'd be good for your soul, but you totally could. A grim line, fellow Londoner, demand to know who she is. Which is a nice way of saying something like breedable. Funny enough, I did make some banana bread yesterday. Made one small loaf with just nuts in it, the other loaf with nuts and chocolate chip. Barcougine. Last time we complimented, we could ask about the previous city. Let's get some more lore in on city number 4. Tree of Never Burnest Silver. That much I do remember. Not from the games, from looking up like the capital of Genghis Khan. Karakorum, I think? I think I said Khartoum yesterday. Both start with a K. But I don't think Genghis Khan's capital was in Sudan. Is his name Temujin going to be important later? Barcougine? Barcougine is not Temujin. She was first scribe of the city. But she did come from that era and place. The city prior to London, being the capital of the Mongolian Empire. Assume the worst. Pleased to see as delightful a specimen as me. And this time we can pursue, perhaps, a bit more of an intimate relationship with Batashi Khan. We didn't the last time, 1, because I was swept up in Archie's affairs, and 2, because of my own affair with Archie. But technically we're still single. We have seductive interest in Ferret. But we haven't kissed yet, we haven't held hands, we're not even going steady. So nobody's going to mind if I get myself into some cephalopodic embrace. Surpassing flexibility. Recoil in alarm. How accurate is surpassing flexibility? The light with Batashi Khan's tentacled appearance. Cephalopodic, you know, cephalopod. The head-footed. Octopus, squids, that type of mollusk. Delight with Batashikan's retentacled appearance. How accurate is surpassing flexibility. Be delighted. Handsome fellow indeed, we have long since been desensitized to all the weirdness of the Neath. First, you've heard it in regards to hugging and romance? Well, you see, what have you been swimming in the circles I've been in? Though hugging and romance is at least better than some. It would reduce him to rubbery lumps, and nothing more than a beachside snack on a stick. Come to think of it, I don't think I remember getting actual census forms from them. Would census forms count for everyone under the city, or just in the city? Batashi Khan wants to dissuade me from the tea. I don't think Bakujin has any ill intent towards me. But I'm so curious why Batashi Khan would say no, don't take the tea. Make eyes at Bakujin over the cup. I'm gonna refuse for now. A safe refusal. Teach you how to make dismal British tea with milk and sugar. Extends the tentacle. Take it with intent. This moment right here, taking the tentacle with intent, is all it takes to elevate Batashi Khan from... Well, it's already flirt. We're already simmering pleasantly. I guess because I called him handsome. Resident warble. Deeper than any before. Can we date the Squid Man? We can. And not the first time in the series either. I'm pretty sure the Rubbery Man was a navigator in Sunless Sea was also dateable. There weren't any rubbery officers in Sunless Skies, so no dateable rubbers there. I hadn't fought in London itself. I'm sure it wouldn't be impossible to date a rubber there, but I hadn't found the opportunity. You can marry a rubbery man and fall. Well, there you go then. Straight from the expert. We did it in Skeleton and Undertale, so okay. Yeah, but pirates have the best jokes. Who wouldn't date them? You married everybody, Sapan Stars. Really? I have to imagine it must have taken years. Because wouldn't that have taken, like, ages and ages of grinding, not just for stats and resources, but to build up those relationships as well? Skeletons don't quite bug you the same, Chillin' Chum? Well, the good news is, I don't think that Batoshi-kan has any. Squids tend to have what? Just the little central cartilage thing in the head, and all the rest is all gelatinous muscle? You mean everyone in that you married a bewildering procession of companions, lovers, suitors, and paramours? That still sounds like a lot. That sounds like a ton to get a bewildering procession of all that. Impressive, but bewildering all the same. For tax reasons. How much of a tax break do you get marrying everybody? Oh, we didn't get any more reports from That's Right. Okay, so I think what I'll do then is tomorrow we'll do the Devils, then go to Pages. Then the day after that, pay off my debts. +1 persuasion, and a slight benefit when going to the Halicon house to hang with rubbery men. Is that for marrying the rubbery or marrying the bewildering procession? I think I understand the +1 persuasion though. If you're married to everybody, that's pretty persuasive. Literally in everybody's back pocket. Yeah, at this point we were kicked out of our job. And then Grizz comes in with extra rations. Marrying the rubbery consort in Amber is actually a best-in-slot spouse. Really? All the more reason then to unite our peoples as one. All this leave a mess. I didn't have options to leave a mess before, and I could only imagine it's because I'm way, way late on my rent. And the relationship must be deteriorating. Companion still owe her... Elevated to companion! Oh! If we're going for friendships then, she must be really easy because you see her every night? Romance might be tricky since we'd have to properly pursue her actively. I'm not gonna leave a mess for her. That would be the rudest to someone who's been so kind to us. Okay, journal. We could easily afford the 5 pennies and 5 pennies more for Horatia. Tomorrow's course of action is going to be: we'll start in the morning by seeing the devils and interviewing the devils. That'll give us 4 census pages total. Then in the afternoon, we'll go to Mr. Page's, pay off what we can. Get paid, I mean, with our 4 pages. And that should get us to 7 total. And maybe with Grizz there, we'll be able to accost him on his activities of the night of the fall. That'll take up an entire day between the two. And so on the day after, on day 267, with not much of confessions remaining, then, first thing in the morning, day after tomorrow, we'll pay Horatia, pay her back completely, and if that takes morning and afternoon, I've been sitting on it so long I might as well do it. Sounds good to me. That is going to be the plan of action. And so far, haven't built up a romantic relationship with Archie this time. Mercurial strangers Barkujin, flirty, Batashikan. David somehow a fan of me. Hopefully he carries that through death. Skeptical companion and a flirt with Ferret will have more chances to flirt when we go back to them to report on the rubbery men. Grizz hasn't done too much with Parjit. Ally. Up to ally basis. Simply, I'm pretty sure. Entirely. Because I wear his hat every time we see him. Literally the only thing I've done. And we keep elevating. Somehow companion despite being so far on rent. Detractor, but that's okay because we haven't been to work in ages. Actually met Phoebe this time. Friends with Rachel. Relationship vicar. And that's it. And unfortunately, because somebody wants to go into town at 4 and that's an hour from now and I gotta get ready. Where's that autosave? No autosave until tomorrow? Until morning comes in? 7 days remain. 1 solid week to go. 7 days we got planned. Day 6 we got planned. So between Pages and Devils and then Horatia paying off, that'll give us 5 days. Until this time skip to midway through Yule. A newspaper, what have we got this time? Ferret's Menace Eradication seeks reliable employees unafraid of rats. And there's autosave, which means unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call it there for tonight. And Wednesday and Thursday, at Fennec staying overnight as usual means won't be streaming tomorrow, so I'll have to continue this second time through. On Friday. Friday we'll come back to this. And continue this second world line. Of a simple story of Guinea simply trying to find some love and not sell his soul for it this time and lose everything in the process. Also might try our hand and actually try to solve the whole David murder thing. Wouldn't want Archie to actually hang for a murder he did not commit after all. Maybe I'll do some pull with Pages. We haven't had Pages hate us yet, right? We're detracted for now, but we could find him so many stories and stay in his good graces. And if I want to easily pull in powerful allies, I could do worse in Ministry, I know that much now. I could do Devils and lose everything. But for the time being, I'm gonna have to call it, so let's see who's online. Not too many people on right now. I have got to start following some more mid-afternoon people. Because I got a very bare followed list. There actually are a few more people playing Mask of the Rose, what do we say? Freya Tale, haven't seen. Smooching Murders. Solving Cuties. Tags include Trans and Rat Girl. Sounds like a good enough reason as any to go check them out. So I think I will steer the raid in that direction. Maybe spoilers, maybe won't be. We'll find out when we get there. And who knows, maybe it won't be too big of spoilers, since Mask of the Rose has so many options, that maybe her experiences and our experiences will be totally different ones, so we get a fuller one overall by seeing what other things are doing. So for the time being, thank you folks for hanging out. You all enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you guys on Friday again to continue the story. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
月のシャワーを優しく浴びるとさよならの痛みも消えてゆくよ。ああ思い切り今日生きたやつにはもっと大きな明日がきっと来るのさ。Tomorrow 走ろう新しく Tomorrow 輝こう強く